Oh, hold on. Oops. Well, once I heard you laughing and like wait, is the trailer done for you?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I started laughing when it was done.
Oh my god. I thought you were okay, so, hello people, welcome. I couldn't help myself but to just play the recording right when the trailer is ending on my side. Oh my god. So, welcome everybody back to One Up Cinema, the show that is, being worked on. I'm really excited for what we're gonna do, really excited for what we're gonna do today, what I need to do. God, what I need to do for this show. Anyway.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yes.
Well, I set myself a specific goal. If I don't get the past episodes of Animazing out, and if I don't get the things that I need to get made for this show, like before the 26th, I'm not playing Bravely Default. Like, that's gonna be my punishment for being a fucking sad sack.
Yeah, no Bravely Default for you. Anyways,
yeah.
Welcome to One Up Cinema, our first official episode, where we're gonna try our best to talk half movies, half games. So,
yeah.
Let's start with, what would you like to start?
well, like, the structure for the show will be things that we've played or seen. It's just, like, casual, like, hey, especially nowadays, like, since me and Dan, like, see each other way less, except for the occasional, hey, I'm gonna give you something, so I'm gonna drop by your house for, like, a second. Or, like,
yeah.
Or at least in one case where I think it was, like, an hour, and that's the one that scared the fuck out of me, because I'm like, oh, shit, I was talking to Daniel for, like, an hour, and now I'm positive. Fuck.
I'll shush you.
That scared the hell out of me. I was like going through who's all the people that I talked more than like 15 minutes with. Ah, fuck.
Yeah. What Danny's trying to get at is that he did contract COVID, unfortunately, for a time. He is better now, but he was afraid that he had passed it on to me when we were doing casual little like. Hangouts when we would talk for like 30 minutes, like 6 foot apart. But I didn't get it. I'm good.
Alright.
But it was quite eventful. Past couple weeks, months. I don't know. Do you know what day it is today? I don't know.
Today's the 17th. So it's gonna be like a few weeks since I got it by this point. Like. It happened around the beginning of January, and I was locked in for most of it, and I wasn't able to leave quarantine, but I was able to leave isolation by the 23rd, so for like the last 4 days of my quarantine, or last 3 days, I think, I was finally just able to see the face of my parents and stuff. My dogs are able to come in the room, because they weren't able to. But yeah, a lot of... Huh?
Of course.
Yeah, but, being in lockdown, as much as people are like, oh my god, being in quarantine, and like, if I'm sick and it's nothing serious and I can, like, be in quarantine and catch up to all the movies and games, and that wasn't really my case. I was so, like, the thing that a lot of people found funny and even kind of annoyed by me is I was more worried for the people who might have gotten it than me who actually had it, and it was one of those cases where it was mild, it felt like a flu, but, no kidding, if you get it, don't lay down. Yeah, I mean, you rest when you have to rest, but don't spend all day laying down in bed, because it kind of wants you to do that. Like, I was laying down just watching stuff. I felt fine in the morning, but, like, after I had laid down for a good 2 hours straight just watching, like, Netflix, I got up and suddenly, like, my breathing was a lot harder, my body felt a lot weaker. After I stood up and I did some in-place jogging for, like, 30 or so minutes, just walking around my room, I realized that I was starting to feel better. But that was the thing that I was noticing, too, is like, yeah, this fucking thing wants me to just relax and, you know, keep my body as docile as possible. It's fucking scary. But... yeah, it was just one of those cases where I'm like, look, I'm glad no one got it. I don't know how the fuck no one in my family got it. Like, my mom didn't get it.
They took proper precautions. That's all you gotta say. Like, if you take it seriously, you'll do fine. Like, I mean, take it from me, you know. I went on a trip to the East Coast on a plane in November for a week. Came back fine because I took very many precautions.
Yeah.
It's basically you are just as safe as the precautions you take.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing with me too. Like, I was safe. I wasn't. There was never a point where I was ever like saying, I bet I'll never get it. No, there was always like, look, I'm working in retail. There's a lot of really stupid people who don't believe in it. There was an incident where my job was forced by corporate to let a bunch of anti-maskers in. Luckily, I wasn't there that day. But yeah,
Yikes.
Yeah, it's just crazy, like, dangerous out there. And like, you know, things are starting to slow down a little bit, but it's just one of those cases where it's like, I took all the precautions, I got sick, I bet all it took was one accidental eye rub, or, like, eating something.
Yeah, like, that's it. Yeah. Like, just one minor mishap, and that's it. And that's all it takes, and that's what sucks. It can happen.
Yeah.
But that 1% of time that you're not careful and you forget, you're like, oh, I might have just screwed myself, and it sucks. But we're not gonna get into that. We're gonna get into what we've been playing. So, what I've been playing, I have been deeply enjoying Genshin Impact. I love Genshin Impact. I think it's great. And to all the people that hate on the game saying it's a Breath of the Wild clone, I fail to see what's the problem with that. Breath of the Wild's a great game.
No. Like here's the thing. When I see Breath of the Wild and then I see Genshin Impact actually looks like it has more personality than Breath of the Wild.
It does. It's fantastically designed in a way that, like, yes, it's mobile game. Yes, it has gotcha.
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
Like I have been playing the past couple months, not spending $1. Just fine. Because, like, you if you play every day, you do all the events, they give you a lot of freaking primogens, and you can just save 10,000 of them. You need 1,600 for 10 characters. You can roll a couple times, and then if you get 90 characters that you didn't get a 5-star, you're guaranteed one. Like, you will get stuff over time. It just takes time, and it's good.
Yeah, like...
Huh?
No, I was saying, like, the only people, you know, like, the people we think about, like, oh, man, like, this game just wants you to pour money into it. The people who are doing that are the people who can't wait for certain events and are just like, no, I want my fucking waifu now, so I'm gonna dump in the money so I can get my waifu.
I mean, yeah, and, you know, the game does have, like, limited time banners that, like, oh, if you didn't get this character in the 30 days of this banner, they get cycled out, and we don't know when they return. Like,
yeah.
So, you know, I do get the FOMO that the game artificially creates by making character banners for special characters that, like, you can only get them during this 30-day period. If you don't get it during the period, we don't know when they'll come back, you know? So, I get it. I'm not saying that the game is not without, like, manipulative things. But I will say, for the low price of playing it for free, it has a fuck ton of content. It's jam-packed with stuff to do.
Yeah.
And right now, if you were to join knowing nothing, you would have easily 2 months of content to blow through, even if you played every day like hell. Because there's so much in there.
Yeah, and, like, I'm on YouTube a lot, and I'm following, like, video game anime channels, so I'm the one being, like, you know, I'm watching the right videos to get the right ads, and there seems to be a new Genshin character they're advertising like every 2 weeks. Like, I kid you not. So they're always pushing new things out there.
Yeah, they're always pushing new things, and I do like their YouTube channel. They actually make cool advertisements for the new characters that also give a little bit of lore and context to that character that you don't see in game, which is super cool. So it's the one thing that's super clever about Genshin, and this is probably the last thing I'll say about it as I move on, is all the events in the game are cleverly designed advertisements for the current banner character. Like, when an update comes out, like 1.3 that just came out, advertising Zhao, they give you story quests with Zhao, and you get to play as Zhao, and you get to learn his backstory. You will learn why he's the quotations vigilant yaksha. You learn what a yaksha is. You understand what he means in this world and why he does what he does, why he's such an angsty little shit. But you learn to develop a bond with this character because you're just like, oh, he's been carrying the death and burden of centuries of war in his blood.
Yeah.
And that's what activates his quotations devil trigger in the game, that he goes into super mode, but he starts having black smoke come out of his skin. And that black smoke is what's called karma, and it's the burden of him killing so many things for centuries, and it's crazy. It's cool. It's super interesting.
Oh, so basically Kratos having the ashes of his family on his body.
No, not his enemies. It's everything he's killed.
Oh, okay.
Demons he's slain. He basically slays demons and only demons. But that, souls and blood gets, into him and tries to corrupt him.
Yeah.
And that's his whole thing. I'm like, that's so cool. What the hell? That's the dopest thing. I have Zhao. He's really freaking fun.
Yeah, and that's the one that fights with spears and has the demon mask, right?
Yeah. He's the green dude with the samurai looking mask and the spear. Yeah, that's Zhao.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw. Man, I think it was a 5-6 minute just trailer for that character, and it looked like the edgiest anime trailer I've ever seen. But it looked cool.
Oh yeah. It's super edgy, super awesome. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. But yeah, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
But I guess that's what I'll stop on with Genshin is that they advertise the character to you not by saying, hey, buy this character. They're saying, hey, here's just what this character's about. Here's why they matter, and here's why you should like them. And then you start to like them, and you're like, fuck, I want the character now.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, and that's why it's so cleverly designed.
That's how you get people's money. Good storytelling.
Good storytelling. Genshin does it very good, in my opinion. I think it's good.
Yeah.
That's fun. Other things I've been playing, I got back into Fallout 76 a lot.
Yeah.
Before you write off, that game's broken, who plays it? It's had a lot of updates since you've last seen it.
Yeah, because that game's come out, that game's been out for 2-3 years by this point? I'm pretty sure it's playable.
2 years? Yeah, 2-3 years, yeah, that's correct. I'm gonna say 2, but you're probably right at 3.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's had updates upon updates upon updates, and it has so much now. So much that's interesting. It has a great endgame. It has all these interesting items to collect with the new gold bar system. There's a lot to offer for people. I'm not gonna say it's new player friendly. It's still not. But when you get to where I am, it is immensely satisfying. And I just want to collect stuff and get different types of armor, different type of roll, make my guy more broken. Because that's one thing that 76 allows you to do that the other Fallout games don't let you, and that's make yourself stupidly broken without mods. The game comes pre-built with stuff that lets you make yourself stupidly broken. I have on my character as much armor as if I was in power armor, but I'm not in power armor.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I get it. I think
on foot, me on foot, just trugging along. I have as much armor value as if I was in a suit of power armor.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you meant like, oh, I was in a bug where like I went into my power armor, but then my character walked out of the armor, so technically I'm in my regular clothes, but I still have my power armor.
Bugs. No bugs. This is not a bug. This is intended by game mechanics. I am able to have that much armor value through my armor alone, and abilities, and perks, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Bugs in 76 now, they're minor. They're like super minor or like super minor annoyances. They're not critical, they're not game breaking, they're not like all the stuff you heard in the past. They've fixed all that.
Cyberpunk 2077, that is now a label. There is mild bugs, annoying bugs, game breaking, and then Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, we are no longer Cyberpunk. We are very much a playable game, just full of little minor bugs. Like nothing big, nothing like it's gonna crush your like experience. It's all good and Gucci right now.
Yeah, and I mean it's an open world Bethesda game. I mean it's gonna be buggy. Like Skyrim, one of the best open world games in other people's opinions. One of the best open world like Bethesda games, Skyrim, like that game is buggy, but it's not like, oh no, I can't continue the game, or oh no, it deleted my save file. Like no, it's buggy because there's so much shit in the world that they're not gonna catch everything. So just deal with it. The bugs are minor.
Well, I mean, Skyrim Vanilla, like the ones on the Switch, they have all those game-breaking and critical bugs still in them, because that's the only thing I don't like about some of the re-releases of Skyrim. They're not bringing, like, the important patches that have come to stop those bugs. They're giving you vanilla, like, without any updates. I'm like, are you insane? Playing vanilla Skyrim in this day and age on the Switch? Are you insane?
Who needs patches to fix the vanilla bugs when you can have Link's sword, Dan? What the hell's wrong with you?
Apparently, Link's badly modded sword and outfit are enough to justify the cost, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like, freaking Bethesda game. If anyone is complaining that there are still bugs in Fallout 76, you're just a person who never played the game to begin with, and it just loved hearing that game fail for the first couple of years.
It has been stumbling out of the starting line, but I assure you, it's running pretty smooth now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like it runs pretty smooth, like as in frame rate. No, there's still little frame rate issues here and there. But I mean, overall, from where it started to where it is, it might as well be an Olympic athlete from where it started in terms of running.
Yeah.
The last thing, I have gotten really into a community-made tool called the Wabajack.
Wabafet. Oh wait, sorry, Wabajack. There you go.
The Wabajack, for listeners who don't know, it is a community-made tool to let you mod Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 4 VR, Stardew Valley, No Man's Sky,
Oh shit.
Fallout New Vegas, and Skyrim, of course. And you can mod all these games through the Wabajack. And what the Wabajack is somebody out there in the world made a playlist of mods. Think of it as like a Spotify playlist of music, but with mods.
Oh, okay.
And you download that playlist to add to your game.
Oh, that's cool.
So somebody out there made the Phoenix flavor, which is the mods I use for Skyrim. So they made a playlist of 600 mods that they know work together, play nice, and they give you the load order and everything. You click one button, you download the whole playlist into a folder, you launch it through the mod organizer tool that's included, and you just play Skyrim with their playlist. And it's all ready to go. It's amazing. It's the easiest way to mod an insane amount of things into like one of those games. It's so good. But there is one caveat.
What?
You have to abide by their rules and their playlist. You can't change anything. or you're risking it breaking.
Oh, so what you're saying is technically if I get a playlist that is like Kingdom Hearts mods, and then I'm like, okay, this mod's cool, but I want to slide in my Legend of Zelda Skull Kid model in this playlist, do you mean that will break it?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, yes.
Oh, okay.
But the point being is that, like, they give you this playlist. It has everything already ready to go, confirm the running. And you just go enjoy it. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. Like, I mean, I could show you in 2 images vanilla Fallout 4 versus my current Fallout 4, and you'd be like, that is night and day difference.
This looks like a next-gen game.
Honestly, at times, yeah. But that's all what I'm playing right now. I'm just keeping busy with, like, big RPGs that just, like, remind me of better times. Because, you know, when these games came out, I wasn't in a pandemic. I was just young and able to have time to play these massive open-world games. And they remind me of those times, and that's why I've come crawling back to them for Sanctuary.
Yeah, I totally get it. Wow, what the...
So
Turns out Dan...
for vanilla.
Oh, okay.
This is with the Wappa Jack.
This on... Hold up, I gotta scroll up a bit. This honestly just looks like you sent me some, like, leaked photo for, like, a new Fallout game on, like, possibly late or super early... Late PS4 or super early PS5, but super early PS5.
Yeah, it looks like I sent you Fallout 4 PS5 edition, right? Yeah,
yeah, it's so clear.
That's what the Wappa Jack can do. It's amazing.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. I kind of found myself wanting to like pop in my copy of Kid Icarus Uprising in my 3DS because like I just remember, you know, that was like my final year of high school and I was still friends with people that, you know, meant a lot to me at the time, and that, you know, that game is honestly just really, really funny and almost impossible to get any sort of negative emotion out of it because of it. But yeah, I get what you mean. But if there's one thing you people are probably gonna pick up on me is, you know, I do play your mainstream... I do play the mainstream games a lot. Probably a lot. You know, like every major release, I'll buy it and play it. But...
Yeah, you're more in the loop with what's current than I am, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if me looking at my shelf and all the PS4 games I bought that are still sealed in box, I'm like,
Yeah, and you're looking at them and you're like, I feel nothing. And me, I'm all like, that game made me cry, this game was okay, this game was a lot of fun. But no, like...
Yeah, you're more in the loop than me, for sure.
Yeah, but like, what I was also getting at is like, you know, I play those games, because I don't want you guys thinking I'm some like pretentious douchebag, but I kind of just found myself maybe in the last 3 years, I've gotten really into like the random little indie game releases that have just been popping up in the Switch shop, or maybe even popping up on Steam if my toaster can run it. But most often it can. But you know, like every now and then, you know, we'll talk about something big. Like I am gonna talk about a game that me and Daniel have both played. Daniel has finished it. I am still working on it. But, you know, during quarantine, there was this game that I've been hearing a lot about. It came out sometime last year called Inmost. And basically, it's a game created by Chucklefish, which a lot of people will know. They didn't create it, they published it. And they're basically the people who have created Wargroove.
Oh, they made Wargroove. Wow,
yeah.
Okay, I know them.
Yeah, you know, it's the little giggling orange fish. But they've gotten, like, really in the habit of, like, you know, them being a like a small indie studio that someone took a chance on them, and now they're being that pseudo-big developer that is now taking chances on these small indie studios. And they went ahead and churned out this game. Helped put out this game called Inmost, which, like, on surface level, it looks like a very gloom, like, side-scrolling puzzle platformer, like, pixel nostalgia art game, where if I were to just go into, like, full-on detail by detail what this game is about, we're gonna be here all day. So the best I can tell you is it is about a man. Basically, it's being split up in 3 stories. It is about a man who is in a glum, weird little fantasy world, who is just trying to look for someone. You don't know who he's looking for, you just know he's looking for someone. And then you are then moved to playing as a little girl who is living presumably in modern day. I would maybe argue maybe 70s or 80s, like 1970, 1980, maybe. But, you know, just living in a more modern era, she is just kind of wandering around her house with a stuffed rabbit, and her life is pretty mundane, and the big conflict is that she thinks that her dad is kidnapping kids and locking them in an attic, and that's why her mom is so distant and, like, manic towards her, because she thinks that she's holding the guilt of having all those kidnapped kids. And then the third game is... The third side of the story is you're playing as this knight, and this is the only time where there's actual combat in the game. You're playing as this knight who is just fighting these shadow creatures like bats, spiders, snakes, shadow people, and you're just like running in and slicing them down and fighting mini bosses and stuff like that. And it isn't until the more you start going in the game, and the more these narrations, who one of them is being voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris, which a lot of people will know as Morgana from Persona 5, the cat boy.
The cat thing, got it.
Yeah, super, super cute voice. I love that voice actress. I hope I get to interview her one day. I've been trying. I've sent her like 2 emails.
It's still sealed in my shelf.
Woo! Hey, you know what? Not playing it at all is better than me, because I played it, didn't like it, and I just sold it off.
Okay, I think that's worse. Yeah, I think you're worse. You see, I owned it wanting to play it. You didn't leave it like it.
Exactly. So people are just gonna look at you. Like honestly, if a rabid fan were to like break into, you know, a room where me and you were both in, they're gonna look at you growling, and they're just gonna be like, play it. And then they're gonna tear at me, and they're just gonna look at me and start tearing me to pieces. How dare you not like the game? It is a masterpiece. It is too long.
Are you saying they're gonna take your heart?
Yeah, they will. And then they will find out all the terrible, terrible deeds that I have done. That is the coolest part of the game, is those heart dungeons. But
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up in a bit. But like, yeah, that game that I'm playing though, with more playing through each 3 of these characters' stories and listening to these voiceovers, and occasionally, I don't count him as another character because they're so small, but maybe every couple of levels you'll be interjected with just a walking simulator of you playing as an old man in a one-room apartment, just walking down the stairs as there's like an ominous narration, like talking about a story that somebody told a little girl. And the more you play through it, the more you realize that these stories, they're not 3 separate stories, they're somehow all interconnected, given the very drastic differences in the world. Like, one, it's very obvious it's set in a more modern time. One, it's obvious that it's centered in a different world, but it's, you know, still different than the Night story, which, you know, playing that game, you're almost immediately going to assume it's a story of something and not necessarily an actual place. but it kind of just lends itself to being an extremely heartbreaking story that was maybe one of the worst decisions I made in quarantine, because as a person who was already going through a lot of stuff, this game's ending just made me feel terrible. Like, I remember crying, and Yana wanted to talk, and I was still kind of like sniffling, and there were still tears in my eyes. And
I mean, bro, let's take it from me, from my selection of comfy game, the nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah.
Fallout is the world's ended. That's my comfy game.
Yeah, but like, if you know where to go, it's a very, like, it's very kind of quirky and, kind of fun. But, if you go to other places in Fallout, it's still like, this entire vault was used where they were like breeding kids with only using one woman and like 70 male, because they just wanted to see how that would operate. And it would be like,
I want to see what would happen,
yeah, like shit like that. Like, I remember you told me this. I remember you told me about this vault in Fallout 3, but like, I saw a video maybe like 2 years ago about the Gary Vault, and I'm like, that is fucking horrifying.
Yeah. The Gary Vault is the most infamous thing in Fallout 3. Like, anyone who's played Fallout 3, you tell them, Gary? And they'll be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They'll be like, shut the fuck up. Because everyone that played that game knows that vault. Because that vault was the most impactful, creepy, like, that vault is a movie on its own.
Yeah. That could have been its own game.
That vault's a movie plotline. Like, it's so good. It's so well done.
Man, like... I was not expecting, like, how fucked up that was when the guy started going through, like, in detail about, like, when you start reading the backstory on it, and then how the Garys sound. Like, the voice acting for the Garys is freaking terrifying. But yeah, like...
It's absolutely, like, you hear that fucking name being said, and you're like, where the fuck are you? I'm going to end you, you fucking monster.
Yeah. But like, another game, I have like 2 more games I want to talk about. This one, and then it will be the one that you've played. But another game, let's stay on the topic of depressing pixelated indie games. I played this game called Anodyne. Now, Anodyne is a full-blown indie game, like full-blown. This is only made by 2 people back in 2012, and the game was finished and released in 2013, which is amazing, because every time one of these indie games come out that has a 2-person team or less, they take forever to come out. Like, Toby Fox's Undertale, I think the release cycle for that was like 2011 to 2015. I could be wrong, but I know it was a while.
I think it was like 3 to 4, yeah. See, the thing is, like, most people that are doing like 1-man, 2-man projects, they have a day job. This is like side thing they're making. That's why it takes so long.
Yeah, man, I should actually send you that video so you can laugh at the absurdity. But this YouTuber that I love, what's his name? Why did I forget his name? Sorry. Super Eyepatch Wolf. He released this great video just talking about how the internet had embraced Undertale and created all of these like separate timeline cinematic universes involving
that video of his is on my watch later. I know what video you're talking about. I follow him too. It's on my watch later, that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I won't say a lot about it. But it's a really fascinating video. But one thing that he talked about was, at one point, Toby actually halted production for the game because he had to finish his college finals. So it really gives you an idea how long this game was in development.
Yeah, I respect people who manage to, like, actually make something. I especially just, like, have the biggest respect for Toby Fox as a creator because of that. I've said it before, I'll say it again, like, he is incredibly humble, and I respect how humble he is given his success. Because like I remember vividly in an interview they asked him, so like, you know, what's next for Undertale? Like, were you gonna make a sequel or something? And he's like, I'll be real with you, I don't think I could ever be able to make anything as good as Undertale again.
Yeah.
Like anything I make from here on out, don't even expect it to be as good as this. Because I think I got lucky. I did everything right as a fluke.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, I've already, you know, when like, what was it, 2018, when Deltarune came out, and there were people like, yeah, this was interesting, but it was no Undertale. And I'm like, well, of course not, he's been warning you that for like the last 3 years, you freaking dingus.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, not everyone will hear that message.
Yeah.
but like, to me, the fact that he gone out and said it like way before Deltarune was even a thing, way before just after Undertale's like massive success, you know, they went to him and they asked him, so what's next? And he's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far. And I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's like the best. I mean, provided I've not followed Toby Fox all the way through to like know his like full character or whatnot, but that quote alone makes me respect him immensely.
Yeah, really does. And I still love the idea how he didn't make the game hoping other people would like it. Like, he didn't think people were gonna like it. He thought people were gonna get annoyed by all the humor, and he's like, look, I made a game that I made a game that I thought would be funny, that would cater specifically to me. I had no idea that it was also going to touch other people the way it did. Like, I honestly wasn't making this game to be played and loved by other people. I was making it to be played and loved by me.
I just love Papyrus.
Yeah, like my favorite, the one of the hardest things I ever had to do in life, not in gaming, in life, the hardest decision, the hardest thing that I have ever done in life that I regret to this day, is thinking that I had the mental strength to do the genocide run and like break down crying after I had to kill Papyrus for the genocide run. One of the biggest mistakes in life that I ever made. All that shit that I...
not strong enough.
Yeah, I was not strong enough. All that stuff that I did in hindsight, you know, all the stupid stuff I did as a kid and a teenager and, you know, like early stages of adulthood. No, fuck that.
You were not full of determination.
Yeah, I was not full of determination. It did not hurt me the way that killing my boy Papyrus did. But, like, you know, going back to it, like, this game Anodyne, and I'm only sending you screenshots because it's like, look, it's not really worth footage-wise to send you. But, yeah, like if I, you know, when I saw playing, like, other games, that you haven't heard that I think are more complex that you should see clips of, I'll send you clips. But yeah, Anodyne is basically just a Legend of Zelda clone, but it's similar to Inmos. It's one of those games where you keep playing it and it starts to get progressively more and more harder to go through, because of some things that end up happening that affect the Quody Fingers story in the game. Unlike Inmos, this game is more of it's more out there with its story. It actually is kind of giving you the breadcrumbs and hoping that you and the theory community will take it and, like, put the pieces together. Because, like, I honestly can't really tell you what this game is about, like just off the top of my head. You play as this little guy called Young. You wake up in this weird world. This, like, sage lady pops up, or guy, because at one point I thought it was a girl, and at one point they call it a guy. This sage character pops up and says, "Hey, you go through these realms." And like put back the pieces. And the rough idea is you are going to these different worlds on the map, and going through them and hoping that you will improve as a person, but we're never really specifically told what made this person bad or what terrible things they've done. And a lot of those hints will then come as in moments like there's a level where you go to hell. But how do you get to hell in this game? You're just walking along the beach and you see a dock and an old man fishing. And the attack and talk button are the same button in this game. So like you walk up to this old man fishing and you want to talk to see if what interesting piece of dialogue he has to say. You hit A, you end up hitting him in the back of his head with your broom, and he falls into the water, creating a blood vortex. And then you jump in there, and now you're in a new level that is basically hell.
You know, I kind of like how clever that is because, you know, most games the attack button is the talk button because, you know, it's like styled like a Game Boy Advance game that, you know, there's only 2 buttons, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, I kind of like that they like put a spin on that. It's just like what normally you'd go and talk to people because you can't attack them. Like this guy in particular, screw that fisherman, he's dead now. Look what you've done, you monster! And you're like, what did I do?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, wait, did I do something wrong? Fuck it. I even reset the game and like did it again, but this time I tried to stay maybe a few more inches away from him, and same thing happened. My guy ended up just like swinging the broom and hitting him on the backside of the head and like killing him, and I'm like, okay, fuck, I guess I have no choice. But then like it gets even weirder because the world in this map, it starts off as like generic fantasy forest world, but then you'll go into like this world that is completely 8-bit, or you go into this world that is just an apartment complex that you're switching between in the apartment and upstairs in the rooftop. And then like another point where the game like depressed me and made me feel terrible. I was almost gonna text you just telling you that I felt so shitty right now. But speaking of Fallout, do you remember that level in Fallout 3 where you're in that idyllic little black and white town? And
when you're in the memory lane.
Yeah.
In the simulation of small town America.
Yeah, and like there's that whole thing like, you know, if you want to get out faster, which is the evil route, they make you put on a mask and like a knife, and you have to go in and start killing all the NPCs on the map. That is basically the same thing. There's no like choice system in here. You have to do this stuff if you want to like beat the game. And there's a part where you go into this weird idyllic little town where it's fuzzy like static, and the only background noise you hear is like static in the background with the occasional murmur of people because they're all like NPCs walking around. And when you hit A to attack instead of your broom, because you never get different weapons, you only get maybe 3 different types of upgrades, but they're really superficial except for the jumping. You suddenly have a knife, and it's like, whoa, where the hell did this knife come from? And you start going through these houses of other people, and they're people who are fairly weird, like this window makes me feel comfort, but when I look outside the other windows, I see things that other people aren't allowed to see. And I'm like, wait, what? And there's even one point where I went into someone's house, and there was just a dude who hung himself. There was nothing really... Yeah, there was nothing in that room. There was nothing for me to interact with. It was just a guy hanging himself. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna click on the guy's body. Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna leave. But
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but like the rough story bit there is like they're talking about this guy called Ying, who like bought this small patch of land, called it Ying Town, but hated the fact that his name was Ying, so he started taking it out on the people in town. And that is when you go to this house, there's an NPC who's just like, I am not letting you in this house until you kill everyone in town. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay.
Murder everyone, and then you're allowed to get in this house.
Murder everyone, men, women. There are flat out child NPCs there, and they don't panic. I think that's the more disturbing part. Is no one is running away from you once you start killing. Like, for example, I was in a part of the map where there are 6 NPCs. I killed a guy. They didn't respond at all. They just kept walking around idly, not really caring. And I think I was more disturbed by the idea that these people were completely unaware of what was going on, rather than, like, freaking out and running away from me, which I've seen some NPCs, like enemy NPCs, do. And it was just so freaking weird. And, you know, I beat the game. I can't really tell you what it's about. People online are saying it has something to do with, like, coming of age, and that you're, like, in this part of hell, and it's trying to make you're this Ying guy, and he's trying to...
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's like a weird metaphor for, like, oh, you're a crappy person and stuff like that, but...
Only Neil Breen can discover its secrets.
Yes. Yeah, and then there's that weird level where I got this rock that when I, like, rub it against people's heads, it gets rid of their cancer. Yeah, it was super odd.
Yeah, you know, this only a work of sheer brainius could solve this mystery.
Yeah, somewhere Neil Breen is, like, playing the game, and he's like, I got it. And I'm like, I think the game was made for someone as weird as Neil Breen. But, you know, probably by the next time we do a show, I'll actually be talking about the sequel, Anodyne 2, which completely different in freaking, like there are some 16-bit sections in it, but it is flat out, like, almost kind of a completely different game. This one I actually will send you a video of, because it's just like, okay, what the fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, sorry, freaking blah blah. Hit the wrong button.
Next on the list
is...
How about that Nintendo Direct?
Oh, no, almost. First, it's my last game pick, then the trailer, and then we'll go into that Direct.
Okay.
So, final game pick, I'll just start you on here then. I spent the last... after, like, years of saying, fuck Randy Pitchford, he's a piece of shit, I'm not gonna buy Borderlands 3, even though I really want to play it, because he's a piece of shit and doesn't deserve my money. I don't know what happened, I just really felt like playing some mindless shooter, so I bought the Borderlands games on the Switch, which, they run pretty damn good. They run at 30, but that's pretty impressive for the Switch.
Anything running on the Switch at 30 is impressive, honestly.
Yeah, really is. I'm looking at you, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Fun game, but, mainly at 12.
Doesn't that, like, tank in frame rate when you do certain abilities?
Oh, when you do certain abilities, when you have more than, like, 50 enemies on screen at a time, oh, yeah. It's funny how you'll run up to a group of enemies, do your special flashy ability, the thing will tank, and it will start running at, I think, 20. Until more enemies show up, and then it starts running low again. Not unplayable, but... definitely not unplayable, but just, weird.
Enough to be annoying, as that's the constant thing you will be doing.
Yeah.
Engaging with.
Yeah, like the not a segue, but... they announced, like, a new Samurai Warriors game on the Switch, and I'm like, well, this looks beautiful, until the gameplay actually kicks in. Because I played, like, because by this point, we had a couple of these Musou games on the Switch. We had Fire Emblem, and, what was the other one? Oh, the first Hyrule Warriors game on the Switch. And we've even had, like, the One Piece games on the Switch that are also Musou games. And all of them just have the wonky frame rate, which arguably, I think it's because the hardware is less advanced than the Switch. The Hyrule Warriors game that was made for the Wii U wasn't that bad. It was manageable, but it was still, it could have been better. But yeah, like, I finally played Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I really liked it, except I think, honestly, it should have just been a small cinematic movie and not a full-blown game. Because, like, the idea of you finding out how handsome Jack turned evil is so freaking interesting to me. And just finding out, like, yeah, his name wasn't actually Jack. He was, like, the lower-level genius that people were picking on. And you're slowly watching him, like, crack and show that he really is, like, a piece of shit. Super cool. Does not need to be in an 8-hour game.
8 hour? It's probably more than that.
8 hour if you blow through the game, which you can't. So yeah, 20-hour game with all the grinding and stuff, and like doing the side missions.
That's why, like, it is 8 hours if you could get everything done. It's actually more than that because you have to. There's level gating in there.
Yeah, there really is. Like if you played the way I did for the first few hours of the game and just like do the story bits and say fuck all to the sides, you will then start to get to an area where the story enemies and the story bosses are about 4 to 5 levels higher than you, and you're like, oh fuck, okay, now I have to go and do all the side missions so I can be somewhat ready to go and fight them, but now it just feels more tedious because I'm doing all of the side missions, and they're not particularly well written or memorable as like Borderlands 2 was. Like Borderlands.
I couldn't tell you a single pre-sequel side mission that was memorable off the top of my head.
The only one, yeah, the only one I remember because it was the only one that made me laugh was you drive by this little kid who is like the best like moon buggy racer on the moon. And when you beat his record, he starts crying like a little kid, calling for his dad, and then his dad, like, rides out of the garage with his vehicle, and he's just a reskinned psycho. But it's funny, because, like, from that point on, he'll just keep showing up on the map, kind of, like, attacking you, and you kill him, and every time you kill him, you hear the little boy NPC character go like, Daddy went to sleepy bye-bye time, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of disturbing. But like that's funny, but that's the only thing I can remember, as opposed to the crazy-ass Mr. Twerk missions, or the Tiny Tina missions, or the mission that Jack wants you to go check on his grandmother, but it turns out that he had sent psychos to go kill his grandmother, and you're just killing the psychos to make sure that
so he doesn't have to pay them.
Yeah. Like, that's great. But, like, this is all leading up to me finally sucking up my pride and playing Borderlands 3, which I will say maybe by this point I'm about 5-6 hours in the game, mainly just putting a lot of that time into doing the random side missions that would be popping up. And
there's a lot more memorable side missions in Borderlands 3, I will give it that.
This is definitely the A-team. This was the 1 and 2 A-team definitely working on this. Like, so for the fixing the issues that I had with a lot of these Borderlands games, which is stop making your main characters, like the characters you're playing as, the characters we should have connections with, stop turning them into these generic, nearly silent player protagonists, and then turning them into characters in the next game where they are now NPCs. Like Lilith and the main 4 characters in the first game, they are planks of wood until Borderlands 2. Where they are like full-blown characters and you love their guts. You can finally say like what makes Brick interesting, what makes Mordecai interesting, what makes Lilith interesting. And then like I haven't gotten to anyone from 2 yet in 3, but I know they're saying that there's NPC models of Krieg, and I think I saw Maya in the trailer, but I haven't gotten to her yet. But in Borderlands 3, your main player characters actually do interact and talk to the characters. They do have lines replying to characters and aren't just like waiting to be talked to and then you walk away without saying a word. And some of it is actually kind of funny. And right now I'm playing as Flak, who is the sniper beastmancer. And I think this is probably one of my favorite classes in the game ever. Like, all of them. I just love the fact that the animals are with you the whole time. You can swap them out. And, like, they go from very helpful to you can actually kind of break them if you know what to upgrade.
Well, like, for me, my favorite Borderlands 3 character to play as is Mose. Iron Bear is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Iron Bear is fucking amazing. Like, and Iron Bear is even better co-op because you can actually put like a turret on top of Iron Bear, and then someone can get on Iron Bear and use the turret. It's fucking fantastic.
But how does that character work? Is Iron Bear timed, or is it like the animals where you can use it for as long as you can? It's just when they get destroyed, they go into a cooldown time.
Iron Bear works on a timer of fuel.
Oh, okay.
And depending on the damage you take or the actions you do, drains fuel. At different rates.
So, you see how I play sometimes. I'll just, if I were to walk into a room full of psychos with Iron Bear and I'm just getting pelted with bullets, will that bring the fuel down super fast?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But not to worry. Let's say you go into that room full of psychos and everything. Well, you could have Iron Bear with a portable nuke launcher. Just shoot a nuke into the room. Everyone gets knocked on their ass, and then you go beat them up either with a minigun, a shotgun, or a bear claw. Like, you have lots of weapon options to put on the bear. And that's probably what's so cool about that special is that you get to choose what two arms the bear has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want dual miniguns? Do you want a minigun and a grenade launcher? Do you want a portable nuke launcher and a grenade launcher? Do you want a bear claw and a minigun? You have entirely full free choice.
Yeah. I saw a bit of those mods because I played I was telling Dan what happened with my first playthrough, which was, okay, I'm really happy that Pro ZD is in the game, but I'm not even gonna bother playing as his character because I know he's not gonna talk a lot. So, I played as Mose because she fell more into my playstyle. And then when I realized, wait, Mose is actually talking back to them. Oh my god, Mose has, actual dialogue. Oh, fuck this. I deleted my, 2-hour-long file and then just started the game over as Flak. And I'm like, yes, Pro ZD's soft, deep, Korean voice is filling my head. But
I didn't know that he does Flak's voice until you mentioned it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. There were some people who were really big fans of his, and they're like, Poppy, that's enough. There were some people who were really big fans of his, and they didn't know he was in it, which is interesting because the only time you'll actually hear him talk about Borderlands 3 is on his podcast. And not really on his YouTube channel unless you go to a certain playlist. But that's it was him putting the trailer for Flak's character reveal and not a thing he uploaded directly to his channel. So yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of people, even hardcore Pro ZD fans, are like, whoa, he's a Vault Hunter? It's yeah. And you can even tell because Flak is basically his regular voice, except deepened a bit.
I think that's great. Yeah. Congratulations to him. That's amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah, just a guy...
That's really cool.
Yeah, a guy who started off on Tumblr just doing funny audio skits, and then he became a Vine star, and then a YouTuber.
TikTok star, YouTube star. He's an everything star, and his memes have propelled him to that stardom. I'm not a super huge pro ZD.
Yeah. Yeah, ProZD.
I'm not a super ProZD fan, but I respect highly that literally because his memes are so danky, everyone paid attention.
Yeah, and like he not as big as Neil Cicierega, but like the guy who does he is kind of on the level of the guy who did the Potter Puppet Pals, where it will be like, whoa, the guy who did the Potter Puppet Pals was the same guy who did Ultimate Showdown? And then he's also the guy who made the Bustin' Ghostbusters remix? Holy shit. And, like, with ProZD, it's like, wait, that's the guy who did the what the fuck, Goofy tries to, no, the extended Goofy death scene audio clip where it's, Goofy like, Sora, you have to go and find out what the fuck Kingdom Hearts is. Like,
I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, he did that one. He did the Goofy Evanescence cover, the Wake Me Up Inside.
Wait, he's the one who did that?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
he did that. And also, like, you saw this one recently, like, even before I sent it to you the other day, he didn't make the comic, but he did the dub for the Goofy Has the Talk with Max comic. Like, that was him, too.
Yeah, the primal urges of the flesh.
Yeah, your dad doesn't just have sex, Maxie. Your dad fucks. But really big guy, and basically one of the big things people started noticing him is he was popping up in Rooster Teeth shows. He was in like 2 seasons of Red vs. Blue. He was in the sadly canceled too soon Nomad of Nowhere. And then he was in Genlock, which you might remember him as one of the captured scientists that worked for the company that gave them the new mech mods. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell it was him because it was him completely, like, talking in a kind of nasally, dorky voice. And he was in season 3 of Agretzko and arguably one of the best characters that season. Basically, yeah, just blowing up, and I'm really happy to find out that he was in, like, Borderlands as, like, a playable character, because if I've learned something about talking to other voice actors, it is a dream as a voice actor to voice a playable character.
Yeah, because that's great.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a really cool thing. And, you know, I may have my reservations about Borderlands 3 because, like, you know, like I told you before, and I'll tell it for the audience, Borderlands 3 is fantastic for the first 10 hours or so. Then it starts to trail off on the quality. It just starts going down and down and down slowly, and then when you get near the end, it's just like, man, where'd all that quality go? It was so good at first.
Honestly, I have a feeling that it might have something to do with all the shit that was happening in the middle of the development. And
it probably is.
Yeah.
But I'd say for sure if that's like, it's not like a one thing is to blame kind of thing. It's just baffling to me that you're enjoying yourself, having a great time, and then you realize, oh, there's no more different yellow weapons that are gonna drop that I haven't seen. Oh, there's this side mission's kind of cringy. Oh, this story beat's kind of what?
Yeah.
Like, it just slowly degrades in quality, and it's sad.
Yeah, there's people already warning me about the child siren in the game. They're like, she is so bad, she might even make you want to, like, stop playing the game. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, yeah, she's not great.
I love that. Oh man, I love how it kind of sounded like, wait, no, they're right. Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, she's like, okay, you see, once you get there and you play it, you'll understand my hesitation, because it's just like, I know what they were trying to do, was not good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad it's something like that because honestly, there are people just like treating her like Anakin, and I'm like, okay, is she really that bad? Is she really that bad?
Honestly, no, but she is that stupid. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess
she's on par levels of Anakin being a dumb, dumb fucking character that just gets everyone like in trouble and everything. Yeah, no, it's on that level of just like, bruh.
Well, I know what I'm doing after editing today. And plus, I get out of work early, so I'll probably just do that for the end of, for like the last half of the day tomorrow. But yeah, that was what I wanted to talk about so far. Not a lot to talk about because I haven't played it a lot, but I'm really digging the first half of the game, and it's a really big bummer that I only have maybe about 5 to 4 hours left of that.
Yeah, I know, I'm telling you, man. It's not gonna be obvious where the quality starts to degrade, but you'll notice. I guarantee you'll notice.
Alright, so real quick, I just have a few things I want to say about this. But we just found out while I was prepping the show. We're now going into our news/topic of the show, where literally while I was looking for some movie news to talk about, we found out that they had released the Cruel. Can you pronounce it?
Cruella.
Thank you.
Cruella de Vil.
Yes, the Maleficent-style Cruella movie starring Emma Stone as the psychotic animal fashionista, the psychotic animal murderer fashionista Cruella de Vil. Sorry, people, I'm not really good at pronouncing my R's.
Why can't you say Cruella?
I know, like I can say cruel, but just trying to put in that last Ella. Cruel Ella. Man,
please, man.
I'm not even fucking with you here. It's so weird. Anyway, I think it's just one of those things my mouth just can't pronounce. But yeah, basically, it's Disney's attempt. Was there an indication after the trailer if it was gonna be on Disney Plus? Because I keep hearing it might be an exclusive there.
It wouldn't surprise me if it is, honestly. But to me, if you ask me, it sounds like Disney executives said, "Hey, can we make the Joker movie PG?"
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know about you, I got some serious Joker vibes out of this trailer, and I'm not sure why it's there.
Because, like, one of the weird things I noticed from the trailer is, like, okay, so this is going to be about how she became, like, a kind of has-been fashionista who has this oddly disturbing fixation on, like, killing animals for the sake of her clothing. But then the last half of the trailer, she makes a dress that, like, she lights on fire and there's, like, a dress underneath it. And, like, then at the end, it looks like it's gonna be like some type of not a murder mystery, but just like a movie about like an aspiring serial killer, because they show her walking around with like a pair of scissors gripped in her hand. And I'm like, what tone are they going for here? Like, if there's one thing I will give the trailer though, is
we live in a society, that's the tone.
Oh no. No, not this again.
That's the tone. That's the tone, goddamn.
If anyone is a fan of the new VTuber boom that has been happening on the internet the last couple of months,
I am.
Are you?
I am.
Which one?
I love Gura.
Yay! That I was actually gonna mention her right now because, like, in one of her playthroughs, one of the other girls, the blonde detective girl Amelia, she said that whole like "we live in a society" thing, and Gura just replies with "return to monkey." So that's all I have to say about that meme is "return to monkey."
But I love them. They're so funny.
They are.
They're so cute. They're so cute. They're so funny, and they're precious, and like they're great. I love them.
Yeah. Well,
I welcome the VTuber takeover, honestly, because it's wholesome, like, fun that people really need right now.
Yeah, I think that's why they were so big last year, because, like, they came at just the right time.
The most perfect time when people needed them most, they came.
Yeah.
And they all embraced them and threw them so much money. Oh my god, do you see how much money gets thrown at those streams? Oh my god.
I saw Amelia Watson one time get $50,000, and I'm like, what the fuck? Do they have billionaires watching them?
Maybe. I don't know.
Actually, I thought
that I know that, but I can tell you this. Even though, you know, HoloLive takes a large portion of the money away from their tips, they're still making, like, you know, 30% of 50,000.
Yeah. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, and like, it's still one of those things where they are streaming practically every day. They are making like thousands upon thousands of dollars a day, and like, you know, only getting like 30% of that money, I honestly would maybe treat that like a bad thing if it wasn't for the fact that when you hear these girls getting interviewed or just casually talking about working for HoloLive, they love it. So they're definitely getting treated well enough for them to be like, this doesn't bother me.
Well, you need to take it like this. There is, you know, even though, yes, they do take a lot of the money out, they are basically their agents. They handle everything.
Yeah.
They handle all the fucking thing. They handle all the fucking, like back-end stuff. Like, all they need to do and worry about is be themselves on YouTube. That's all they need to do. HoloLive takes care of everything else.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I tell people, like, Amelia Watson, I love that character. I love the design of that character. I think it's super cute. I'll probably, if I ever meet the actual girl who plays her, though, I know we're not gonna be friends because she's a toxic gamer, and I have a really hard time, like, communicating with those people.
But that makes her so watchable.
Yeah. No, it's so funny when she's playing, like, Apex, and she's like, haha, I could tell you're playing on a controller, dumbass. And I'm like, oh my god. Stop it.
And look, you're just getting dissed by an anime girl. Like, what are you gonna say? By the way, this is for you later.
Oh, okay.
That one I sent you is for you later.
Got it. But, yeah, just, you know, it's so freaking funny, and I'm with you. I welcome our freaking HoloLive overlords, our little anime girl overlords.
The waifu overlords.
Yeah. Oh, this popped up in my recommendations the other day. I'll watch it after. But yeah, like,
yeah.
Great. Anyway, how did we get from Cruella to this?
It just happens, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was the society thing. But yeah, I don't know, it's like, this looks a little too dark to be like, you know, their Disney tone, but then again, I have a feeling that the trailer is dark, and then the movie might just be like shoehorned kiddie humor that's gonna make you question, why am I here? I'm 27, why am I
here?
Yeah, why am I here? Why am I watching this? I'm 27 years old, I should be doing something more constructive with my time.
You would think, and you would be wrong.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen it yet. I will one day, but, like, the people that I've seen who have watched, like, the second the Maleficent movie, that one they sold as, like, this big dark fantasy epic, and they're saying, no, it's pretty stupid. I'm like, oh.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah. Love that first movie. I'm still kind of ashamed that one of your friends talked me into hating it for a while, but no, screw them, I love that movie.
Hey, man, like...
It was...
our taste changed over time. That happens.
Yeah. No, but it was like, okay... The movie came out, like, in 2014. We were still talking to this person in 2014. And,
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Our taste changed. That happened.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing, is like, sorry, people. I think one of my, like, family members are here. Poppy, calm down. That was my
Danny goes consults Poppy.
I am here. I just closed the gate.
Okay. I was just saying that, like, yeah, I know. I'm just like, when it comes to Cruella DeVille, nobody asked for this movie.
And I've seen both versions of the movie. I've even saw like that weird direct-to-DVD animated remake. No, just animated sequel where they go to London. But I don't know. Like Cruella has just never really like she never really cemented herself as like one of the great Disney villains for me. And I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but like yeah. When I think of yeah, no, because you know when you go online, and I bet you if we look at the comments, there's gonna be a bunch of people saying, "Oh, no one's ever gonna beat Glenn Close or the original voice actress in the animated movie," and I'm like, look, I don't even have, huh?
I'm just like, who?
Oh yeah, Glenn Close was in the live action movie, and the no, can you feed him, please? Thank you. Glenn Close was in the animated movie. I forgot the woman who voices her in the animated. No, she was live action, and I don't know who the lady in the animated one is. But, yeah, I don't know, they never... So, you're on my boat. She just never really stuck out to you, right? Like...
Well, Cruella DeVille, it's not that she never stuck out. She did stuck out. She was, like... just a crazy rich person, and that was funny to me.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy rich person that wanted to make the dogs into a garment. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Super dark, though, because specifically she wanted the puppies.
Yes. That is a very important thing to mention, yes. Super dark when you take it like that, yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But regardless of that, like I do like that they have the what would you say, the audacity to make something like this.
Yeah, it looks really out there, and I think that's the thing that's going to convince a lot of people is just like how super out there it was. It looks like, yeah, you're right. It looks like a Disney-fied version of Joker. And maybe
it feels like they wanted Joker movie. Because if I swear to God, if you just superimpose Joker instead of her in all of those scenes, it would work.
Yeah. And then it just ends with her saying, "We live in a society."
Done. Easy. All that DC money comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Take all the money, and it's gonna blow up the internet for a week until people just forget about it. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't talking about the Cruella trailer. Oh, okay, sorry. But
I mean, where's the lie?
Yeah, but yeah, look, I think chances are it might be on Disney Plus. I'll probably put like a post disclaimer after I have time to just go in and check where it is gonna be at. But you know, I'm still gonna watch it. It looks interesting, but so did Mulan. and
I like that. It looks interesting, but so did Mulan.
Yeah, like after the initial after the initial time of me seeing it, because like look, I told you I really freaking liked the movie the first time. I don't know, I tried to watch it again and I fell asleep, and then I just kind of realized I think this movie is just kind of boring. And I think the only reason I liked it as much as I did is because I was somehow trying to justify the $30 freaking I spent on it.
You were trying so bad to make sure that you did not have to tell yourself, I wasted money.
Yeah, and like, I'm not saying I don't like the movie, I'm not saying that I think it's a bad movie, but I guess it's also, the reason why I'm not like, oh, fuck the new Mulan movie, is because I don't know, I was never really a giant fan of the original Mulan either. Like, I really liked it. I loved Mushu and the cricket. I loved, like, some of the comic relief characters, which I think that's what made the live action movie worse, is that the comic relief characters were there, but they weren't nearly as interesting or even funny as the animated versions. They were there, but they just weren't funny. And
they're there, but what's humor?
yeah, and I think the main thing that maybe that movie could have gotten past is, instead of like making it that Mulan and the general were the only people with these superpowers, maybe they should have also made the love interest and the three comic sidekicks, maybe they should have also made them key warriors too, because that could have had an even more kind of like Journey to the West vibes, where all of them...
They wanted the Force. Let's just be real. They wanted the Force.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And I think, look, having that idea, you know, it's cool, but have you seen other wuxia movies? The chi or magic powers in wuxia movies could do some wild stuff. I think you guys need to think about that kind of thing. Is like, let's just get wild with it. Let's have people freaking throw fireballs or like create knives out of their hair or something like that.
No fun allowed.
Yeah, no fun allowed. This is a Disney movie.
This is no fun allowed, man. It's a movie made for China, and it's gonna stick to them.
Oh, right. That's why. That's probably why there wasn't a lot of superpower, a lot of magic powers in it, because it wouldn't have been able to play in China. Never mind.
They can only bend it to the spiritual aspect so much because they can't have any like ghosts or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So no ghosts of your ancestors, no Mushu.
Nothing. No, nothing. That's why all of that's missing. That's the reason.
Yeah.
It's because no fun allowed.
Yeah. So what we're trying to get at, people, is the Cruella trailer. It looks out there. Me and Daniel, we don't always want the movies to be a spectacular mess, but when they are spectacular messes, we have a lot to talk about. Which is always fun.
Speaking of spectacular messes, just like that now coming Justice League Snyder Cut.
Yay! Oh, we're what, like 3 weeks away from this point? 2, 4, maybe, no, a month. Exactly a month tomorrow. We're gonna be a month away. Ooh, I cannot wait. That is gonna be a 4-hour... Huh?
That is gonna have popcorn, he gonna have pizza, he gonna have a onesie.
Yeah.
And he's gonna sit there eagerly awaiting this train wreck.
Yeah. And you know, I'll be honest, if it's competent, then I'll say it's competent. But it won't be as funny. I want it, you know, like, no offense to Zack Snyder, but like, I kind of want this to be the train wreck that we're all hoping it was. Like, man, Batman vs. Superman was so fun to talk about because of just how, like, batshit crazy bad that was. And
it took us the entire time watching it to discuss it.
Yeah, the discussion was at least like an hour and a half longer than the actual movie itself. So expect this to be like an 8-hour podcast on a 4-hour movie.
Oh no, I'm not ready.
Yeah, but you know, we're an hour and a half into the show. Let's go to our news/topic, which is, yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct just like 3 hours ago by this point. And
yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where this was the first real official Nintendo Direct since the start of the pandemic. Like, one of my friends was like, well, what about the one in March? That one was like 28 minutes long. And I'm like, yeah, but that was still listed as a mini, and there was no physical presence there. Like, it was just a clip show. And like, from that point on, we had the minis, we had the indie world, we had the what were they calling it? The partner showcases or something?
Something like that. It was for just third-party people.
Yeah, which were super annoying in the comments waiting for those to start, because they say there will be no first-party Nintendo announcements here, and then you'll still have people in the comments like, oh, they better announce this character for Smash, or they better announce this new Mario game, or like Breath of the Wild 2. And I'm like, guys, they're fucking telling you they're not gonna do that. Like, they told you.
Why would I listen to you?
Yeah. hey, technically Mario vs. Rabbids was like a third-party game. And I'm like, yeah, but Nintendo would tell you if something like that was coming out in their own showcase because Mario is in it. But, like, it was annoying. Basically, this is the first real official Nintendo Direct. Even they brought it up, too. Like, the guy who was hosting the whole thing, even he was like, yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to do a Direct in this style. Welcome back, everyone.
Hi! Hi! Amazing to see you!
Yeah, it was, it was actually kind of wholesome because you can tell for everyone who was there, except for the guy who, is making Breath of the Wild 2, AG Enuma or something like that. Like, the spokesperson and even kind of like, some of the narration, they seemed like, oh man, it feels good to be doing a direct like this again. Like, there was just so much enthusiasm that I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of wholesome. I will give you points for this, even though, according to you more or less fell in my territory where there was a lot of nothing stuff announced, and there was some legitimately really good stuff announced, but a whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of nothing that's coming soon is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, there was stuff announced. There was cool stuff there. It's just there's a whole lot of nothing for a while.
Yeah, like, and the stuff we're gonna get within, there's some stuff that was released today, like that Capcom arcade library thing they're releasing, which at first I was so gonna get that until they said, we give you one game for free and then you have to buy the rest of them in packs. And I'm like, why?
Why?
Yeah. No.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Money? Because this is Capcom? All we do now is Street Fighter and Resident Evil, so yeah, don't question. Oh no, sorry. Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and Monster Hunter. So don't question us? But
how dare you question us?
Yeah, we are Capcom. We created games that were masterpieces a few years ago. No, like over 20 years ago. But
look, the only masterpiece Capcom has made greatly is Monster Hunter. Let's be real, Monster Hunter World. Quality.
Yeah, freaking beautiful game. Can never be on the Switch because of just how freaking beautiful that game looks. But,
they're trying with Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah, that looks really pretty, but like the me having to play that game smart isn't my type of gameplay. I don't want to have to team up with people to take down one monster. I want to freaking go in with my crazy weapon and take out a monster on my own God of War style. And if I
do that.
I mean, I could do that, but isn't that like a 20-minute battle?
It's a 20-minute battle with people too. Like, the monster health scales.
Damn. So you just have to like chip away. Yeah. No, I mean, I know how the game plays, but yeah, it's just one of those cases where it's like, one day maybe I'll play a Monster Hunter game. But as you see, just the idea of Monster Hunter, I'm really hesitant to give them money. I mean, just look, they want $20 for a digital copy of the movie, and I'm like, I ain't giving you that, even though I get to keep it. But, no, like, that game looks cool. Are you gonna get it? Oh, you don't know by this point.
But Rise?
Yeah.
I'll probably pick it up, because it's Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I love Monster Hunter. Like, honestly, let's put it like this, Danny. Even the weakest Monster Hunter has been a fucking quality game.
Did we ever get the Monster Hunter game that was like more aimed at kids, where you're like riding dragons and stuff?
We did.
Yeah.
For the DS. That still did pretty good at an 8 out of 10 last time I remember.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like, and like, that's what I'm saying, even the weakest Monster Hunter game is still a quality game.
Damn. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Though we never got the amiibos, probably because American Nintendo did not want to pay that big of a price tag for the amiibos, because I saw those amiibos at AX. They're huge. They're like a dragon with a character on top of it. They're pretty freaking big amiibos. So yeah, never got a lot for that. But I think one of the you would have probably either been so annoyed by me or laughing, because they opened up the conference with with like a Smash announcement for Xenoblade Chronicles. And
I laughed too, because it was like, man, y'all can't stop making sword users, can you?
anime sword users, people are getting legitimately annoyed by the amount of like Fire Emblem and like Final Fantasy characters that are being poured into the game now.
As they should be, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, guys, can you make anything that's not a sword user?
But that is when Nomura comes and he's all like, but Dan, can you fap to non-sword user characters?
Go away, Nomura. No one likes you.
Nomura, get out of here.
If they say they do, they're lying.
Yeah. Yeah. Nomura, get the hell out of here. Don't talk to us until you announce Kid Icarus Uprising 2, goddammit.
Like I said, you're lying if you say you like Nomura. Mad Lad is too crazy.
No, he is too crazy, and the only time I could actually say I like him as a director was Kid Icarus Uprising, because that game was amazing and he directed it. But like my whole thing is, when I was watching that like announcement trailer though, they open it up like it's gonna be some DLC for like the game, or it's gonna be like a new Xenoblade game, where it's like, oh, I can't find Pyrrha anywhere, and I've looked everywhere and don't have an idea where to go. And like every other sentence he said was like, I can't find her here, I can't find her here, I wonder where she went. And at the end of all of those sentences, I'm just like, she's in Smash, and then and then I finally found her in Smash. Pyrrha, where have you been? In Smash. Like, I just did that the whole time. And
smashing.
yeah, and like, my whole thing is like, look, I've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It is a fine game. It is a very good game that you have to really grind at, which is why I never finished it. But it is a good game. But my whole thing is like, the only reason it is Pyrrha and this other girl who I had not, like, I didn't get far enough in the game to get her, so I never, like, I have no idea who that character is. But I'm like, the only reason they are making it that these girls are the ones using the sword is because it will just bring in more, like, fan service for the game. The fans would rather play as Pyrrha than play as Rex, because, in case you don't know, Daniel, like, basically Pyrrha, that character in Smash, she is the sword. Like, she's just like this homunculus type living bioweapon that is connected to the sword, and all of the sword's powers are based off her connection to the main guy Rex. Which, there are moments where she can wield the sword and attack with it, but the primary user is Rex. But they just find it more feasible to make it Pyrrha, because people are gonna want those amiibos of her now. Like, people are gonna drop money for those amiibos. People are gonna drop money to play as her, which, even if you don't buy a fight pass, a character on their own is still like $6.
Yep.
Yeah, as opposed that if it was Rex, where Pyrrha is in the background, who doesn't really do anything, probably not as feasible. People might not want that amiibo, so yeah, it's a good call on them to do that, but I honestly am just like, yeah, you are here for the amiibo and people do fap too. But, yeah, like, that's the thing. What was the thing that really stuck out to you, like, after, like, what also stuck out to you in the Direct?
I like that No More Heroes 3 actually has a release date. That was like the one shocking thing to me in the Direct. Wow, an actual release date. Whoa!
Yeah.
That's the only game they showed with an actual release date.
Yeah, well, in actual, like, one, a game we actually care about, and two, a game that has, like, And sorry, I forgot what I was going with the second half. But yeah, it's a game that we actually cared about with a release date, and a release date within this year, because like the most of the other games that I'm like really excited to play, are next year. But
yeah, like there's nothing coming. That was the direct. Nothing coming. But No More Heroes is around the corner. Oh, cool.
yeah,
Thanks.
and my two major disappointments, both of them very petty. So don't think that I'm dropping some major knowledge here. One, I'm really kind of disappointed how fast it was and how it's just like, play No More Heroes. You get to do this and this. I almost wish that Pseudo had made another like fake trailer for the release date announcement where, knowing Pseudo, it's gonna be a trailer that has nothing to do with No More Heroes until the very end, and then he drops the release date. Like what he did with that really cool short film in the initial release date announcement like 2 years ago with
Look, here's my theory. Sorry to cut you off, but here's my
no, go.
He wanted to do that, and Nintendo said no.
Yeah, we have a time budget. We don't have time to give you 5 or 6 minutes to some like random trailer. Yeah, no, I bet you, because Suda, my bad. Suda is all about the troll. He loves the troll. He
lived for it.
Yeah, he will give you an entire 10-minute ad about some fake toothpaste, only to then have an announcement that it is like Let It Die 2 or something.
which would be like, oh my god, I didn't know I needed this in my life, but I'm happy it's here.
Yeah, because like I had like a major disappointment when he released The Visit. Or The Return, I think that's what the short film was about the kid who finds the alien and then the alien comes back. Because I was so excited thinking that this was new, that Nintendo was finally releasing a new IP, and it was going to be centered in the 80s, and that looked super cool to me. And then when, like, it shows them coming back, and then it's the spaceship from the E3 2018 trailer, I believe. E3 2019 No More Heroes trailer. I'm like, wait, that ship looks familiar. And then when the aliens popped up, I'm like, oh no, these look like Suda designs. And yeah, at the end of the game, I was extremely disappointed because I'm like, damn it, it's No More Heroes 3. I was really hoping it was going to be like a new IP or something, but it still looks fine. After playing No More Heroes 1 and 2, I am now a hardcore, like, not necessarily a Suda fan because I've only ever played one other Suda 51 game, but like I am a hardcore No More Heroes fan now. I freaking love all those crazy games and stuff. So I'm really excited for this. Yeah, my second major disappointment is that August is so long, and not even August, like August 27th, practically September. I'm like, I want it now. Give it to me now.
Give it to me now.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out
it says here, no for you.
Yeah, it says, no for me, screw off. If I go online and create a big stink about it, I'm probably gonna get a personalized message from the voice actor of Travis saying, shut up and wait, you damn nerd. I'm like, oh great, Travis hates me now.
That sounds like something he would do.
Yeah, that will be something that, like, Suda will be like, hey, Robert Atkin Downs, can you, like, record something for me? Look, I really don't want to bash a fan. Do it, or else I will replace you. You have seen it that I do not mind replacing you in the trailers. Which he does. In a good portion of No More Heroes trailers, it isn't Travis's regular voice actor. It's just a placeholder.
Constantly.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Look, super excited for the game. Looks like it's gonna be Suda's typical nonsense, where you go into these big epic battles and then they're like, now you have to mow like 7 lawns in order to go to the next battle. Get
mowing, boy.
Yeah, but is freaking incredible, and I love it. I just love how freaking batty those games are. I mean, Takashi Miike is in the second game, for crying out loud. It's a cameo, but he's in the game, and it is kind of awesome.
He's there, and he's like, hi.
But yeah, next thing that really kind of poked my interest, though, was the... What was it? Triangle Strategy? Project Triangle Strategy?
Project Triangle Strategy working title.
Which...
That's the full name.
Yeah, which... Totally that's gonna be the title. It's just gonna be Triangle Strategy, because that's the same company that made Octopath... Huh?
It's Squeenix.
It's Square Enix publishing it, but the developers is the same company that made Octopath Traveler.
I actually thought it was Octopath Traveler, the sequel, or like 2, because I'm like, oh, it looks like Octopath sequel, neat. And then they put out that triangle name, like, oh. Guys, whoever said that should be our working title, fire them.
Yeah, fire them. And fire the guy who just says, screw it, we'll have this be the real title. Because people forget that Octopath Traveler, that was the working title when they announced it. It was Project Octopath Traveler. And then a year later, they're like, okay, that's just the full name now. And it's like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so now I'm just waiting for them to announce, like, the official name, and it's still Triangle Strategy. Be even funnier about it and be like Strategy Square.
Strategy Triangle.
Yeah, Strategy Triangle. No, like, Strategy Square, because it's still a 3. Like, so it's strategy with, like, a little 3 at the tip.
God.
You're like,
Triangle Squared.
Exactly, Triangle Squared. But it looks just like Octopath Traveler. It looks freaking beautiful. I just hope I don't have to grind for 2 hours. Yeah, probably. Because
I'll just stop you right there. You will.
I envy like when you took me to go see Star Wars with your work. I envied that guy who was playing Octopath Traveler, and he looked way further than I was, because he obviously had the capacity to like put up with all of the grinding you have to do. And with me, I'm like, I love the world, I really want to see where these characters go, but I don't want to grind for 2 to 3 hours just to play the next chapter. Like, oh my god, kill me now, please. But
yeah, I feel like that, apparently.
Yeah, it really hurts me. That's why I'm like, okay, I guess if I want another, like, old school Final Fantasy type experience, I just have to wait for Bravely Default to make another game, which thankfully we're getting one next week. But yeah, about this game though, it looks gorgeous, and I can, just like, it looks like the 3D graphics got better, and it's a, like, full-on, like, Fire Emblem, like, strategy game, and, that strategy games like that are extremely fun to me, so as long as they can, like, balance out the difficulty a little bit better, as opposed to Octopath, then I'm totally in it. It just sucks that, yeah, it's 2022. With a demo out today, but I don't really care.
I was about to say that. I was like, well, I mean, you could try the demo. They did say it was going to be after available on the eShop after the announcement thing. So.
Yeah, and when I say I don't care, I mean, like, I don't mean I'm not going to play it. It just means, like, I'm not, I didn't immediately put it to download after the thing. Like, I'll put it to download maybe tomorrow, later tonight, but I really do want to get this episode edited. But yeah, it's it's fine. It looks beautiful. Daniel, did you also think that it was like a DLC or like a sequel to the new Fire Emblem already? Like, I honestly thought, like, is this a sequel to Three Houses already?
Where?
When they announced Triangle Strategy, I got
not at all.
Okay, I got vibes that, wait, is this like some DLC or a new game to Fire Emblem Three Houses? That's weird.
No, I did not get that feeling one bit at all.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. And the dead giveaway, though, is that the character designs for the characters were not the usual character designs. They were the guy who did the character designs for Nier Automata and the other Bravely Default games, and Octopath Traveler. It was the same guy doing the character designs in this one. Which, beautiful design. I absolutely love those designs, but... yeah, that game's coming out. That looks cool. What else? It really shows you the whole lot of nothing here.
Okay, man, we're working with what we got, and we're trying it out. We're not gonna be like shoving everything that we can think of. If we're done, we're done.
No, well, I mean, I got one more thing that I'm just like, fuck yeah, I cannot wait to play it. But
oh yeah, what's that?
Splatoon 3. Now that I'm actually...
oh, yeah. I never got into Splatoon, but my brothers really love it. And I'm like, oh, this one looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that I got into Splatoon 2 as much as I did. I mean, I don't own a copy anymore, and I think that was really stupid of me because I could still play, like, the DLC offline and stuff. But now I'm paying for the online because I've been playing a lot of Among Us. I was playing Mario 3D World with a friend, so now I have like a year of online. So now I'm like, you know what? Splatoon just reminded me that I should probably buy Splatoon 2 again. Because I really do miss that game, and I don't know, you know me, I'm not a big online player guy. I don't really like competitive playing because I suck at it, but I'm not bad at Splatoon, and I just have so much fun, even if I lose. I don't know why that game appeals to me as much as it did, because it really shouldn't, honestly.
I mean, it's just cool. I think that's what it boils down to. Splatoon as a concept is very cool. I think it works really well. Like, it's just like, it's probably the coolest looking violent game that's not violent for kids.
Yeah, and before anyone thinks they could break the system, no, there is no red paint in Splatoon.
Oh, is there not?
No, there's no red paint. So, yeah, you can't have...
Clever.
Yeah, so you can't have like, oh, it's a bloodbath. There's blood everywhere. No, there's not. Also, even funnier, we don't even have to spend a lot of time on this comment. No white paint either, for obvious reasons. Which, I honestly didn't think of that until a podcast brought it up. And I'm like, oh, there isn't white paint. I wonder what... Never mind.
I wonder... Wait a minute. I like that realization of like, oh, that's... Wait, no, it's not.
Yeah. I wonder why they... Oh, no, never mind. The internet is a child, that is why. And when Portal 2 came out, a lot of people made fun of the moon goo in Portal 2. They made fun of that a lot.
Yes, you did.
But, yeah, no, I'm really excited for Splatoon 3. I hope they have a super badass single-player DLC like Splatoon 2 did. That, I think it was Operation Octo, on Mission Octo. That was super cool. I mean, it was difficult as all hell, and I was never able to finish it because it was so freaking difficult. But it was, like, really cool that they actually had a story in it. There was, like, an interesting, like, you know one thing, I don't know if you know, I didn't find out until Splatoon 2, but do you know that this world is post-apocalyptic?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's dead.
Yeah, like, you guys are basically mutants. You and the Octos and the other fish people are basically just mutants that have moved to the land. And there is absolutely no mention of any surviving human, with a lot of people believing that the last surviving human might have been a character inside this, like, frozen vial. But now that was just revealed to be an octopus kid. Not a skid. There's like the evil Quody Fingers characters in Splatoon are octopus people that just look like squidlings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was revealed to be one of them and not a human, so... Yeah, and Splatoon 3 just looked like it fully embraced that, with the character freaking walking in a post-apocalyptic wasteland with a bunch of rusted vehicles and stuff, and I honestly didn't even think this was a Splatoon game until they started rotating through the wigs.
Oh, I knew it was Splatoon immediately because that character design is very distinct. I'm like, oh, Splatoon, neat. And then, like you said, when they had her just traveling the wasteland and getting on a little fucking, like, rinky-dinky train to get to the city, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful world building. Oh, that's great. I like that.
Yeah, it's so cool, and they did have a single player in the base game. Where one of the hosts from the first Splatoon game, they get kidnapped and you have to go and look for them. Like, that had very little world building, but it was still world building, and that was really interesting. That's why I think a lot of people in the comments for Splatoon 3 are like, okay, people, when Nintendo asks the player, who is our favorite host from Splatoon 2, nobody vote for the black girl, because that is the one we actually like. And the last time Nintendo asked them, oh, which one was your favorite host from 1? That host ended up getting abducted.
My god.
Yeah, they just wanted to... They accidentally voted for which character is going to get kidnapped and nearly killed.
I mean, that's brilliant, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. That's why I'm like, I hope they ask that again and do it to one of the new hosts, because people really love the new host in the second game, especially the black squid girl. Octopus
people
girl.
Are super fucking, like, horny for that one.
The black one? Because they gave her a butt, and I'm like, guys, stop giving these characters butt. It's a kid's game.
I was just saying that, like, people get really enthusiastic talking about, I think her name is Marina?
Marina, there we go. I was gonna say Maria.
I don't play the fucking game and I know.
Well, I'm sorry. But yeah, Marina, they really love that character. And the interesting thing about that character is she may or may not even be like an like an octopus person, which is even more interesting, but like they never really talk about it. But it's probably one of those cases where it's like, no, she's a squid, we just like this hair design on her. But
are you a kid or squid?
Are you? It is quite a, like, it is quite the existential crisis. Which one are you? You don't know. But yeah, last thing on the docket, I was looking at what they announced and I forgot about. Oh crap! Skyward Sword reboot. Speaking of Skyrim, this is a game that came out around the same time, and for some reason, the Nintendo people were trying to start a war with the Skyrim people. Oh, that was hilarious. That was cute.
Did they really?
They did. They did. Oh my god, I can't believe you didn't hear. But yeah, no, it was like the thing that happens with like Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear. Like the same thing for this was happening because they came out a few weeks apart. I would maybe even came out a few days apart. I don't remember, but like they came out a few weeks apart, and there were so many people like, oh, you guys better be playing Skyrim instead of Skyward Boar. And I'm like, oh my god. Or like, no, screw Suckrim, play Legend of Zelda, it's a better game. And I'm like, guys, stop. You all know that this...
Okay. They came out a week apart, with Skyrim coming out first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and by that point, Skyrim built its cult while the cult of Zelda was already there. But yeah, it's so weird. And thank you for looking that up for me.
I wanted to see him, like, wait a minute, is that true? And like, oh yeah, there it is. They came out 1 week apart in 2011.
Yeah.
10 years ago, Danny!
I know, 10 years ago, I feel so old. I was in high school and...
You're old and grody.
Dude, you're younger than me. What are you talking about?
I didn't say I wasn't. I said you are.
Yeah, I was specifically attacking you. I'm fine on my own. But no, like, yeah, it was so weird that people thought that, like, oh yeah, just because they're both fantasy games, we're going to freaking play. We think that even though we're playing a game on, at the time a dying down console, a console that was already out the door, we're going to like start beef with the Xbox 360 and PS3 players by saying that their game sucks. But the thing is, I know a lot of people who don't like Skyward Sword. And that's why I'm really interested to play it, because I want to see if it is bad. I want to see if I do think it's bad, because I'm kind of like a blind Zelda lover, with Breath of the Wild maybe being the first game that I'm like, okay, this one isn't for me, because it doesn't have anything that I like about Zelda in it. No interesting characters, the gameplay is, everything breaks on you, so how can you really have fun with an item? But yeah, like, this Skyward Sword game, interesting thing, I didn't know about this until the guy brought it up in the Direct. This is supposed to be the first incarnation of Zelda, of like Zelda and Link in the timeline, and I'm like, okay, so how are they...
Yeah, it takes place before essentially everything, like, to my knowledge anyway. My brother Alex, him being like the biggest Zelda fan I know, he personally loved the Skyward Sword like the most.
Yeah. And I'm hearing that. And that's the thing too, is like, I know how big of a fan he is, and fans like him are also the ones who are like, yeah, this one sucks. And I'm like, but why? Like,
but why?
Yeah.
Good question, Danny. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because it's one of those cases where, like, they say it sucks, but they don't give you a why. They just say it because it's bad. And I'm like, that's not an answer.
That's not an answer.
Yeah. What are you talking about? That's so... Okay, but yeah, look.
That sounds like gamer, though.
Yeah, that sounds like gamer energy. E-boy energy. But... my whole thing is like, look, I'm really excited to play it. It's gonna be another wait. I think they said July, I think it was gonna be released. I'm really excited to play it. And I'm not gonna lie, I really want those Switch controllers.
They're so expensive, though. If that's one thing I can never recommend about the Switch, is the price justification for its controllers.
Yeah, and... you don't play the thing a whole lot, but those things wear out so fast. So my controllers, they wore out. The ones from 2017, they wore out. I got them replaced and I bought a new pair. That was like $85. Now these are starting to wear out on me. After another 2 years, and I'm like, motherfucker, now I have to buy a new pair.
Well, like, the way I see it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you absolutely need to buy that stupid Pro Controller.
Yeah, which I do have, but I'm too lazy to charge it. But yeah, that thing lasts... yeah.
Yeah, and unless you're playing a game like No More Heroes that, like, the point is the motion controls, you should never be using the Joy-Cons.
Yeah. The Joy-Cons are there for game... The Joy-Cons, if anything, they're there for the occasional co-op play. Like, if someone else is
here.
They're
there for your Mario parties, your, like, whatever, what have you. Yeah, all those party games, great use of it. Other than that, get out.
Yeah, and the Pro Controller is what, like $10? It's $10 cheaper than the Joy-Cons, too. I think I paid $70 for mine.
It's like, yeah, it's like $10 cheaper, and it'll last like 3 times longer.
Yeah, so 6 years instead of 2. Definitely longer though, because I had this controller since the end of 2017, and it's still working. It's perfect, way better than the Joy-Cons. I love it.
I just want to stress this to you, Danny. You know how much I don't play that much on my Switch.
Yeah.
But when Animal Crossing was a thing, I played on it quite a bit. One of my Joy-Cons got Joy-Con drift already.
Oh, yeah. I honestly
like, let's say a few months of use.
Yeah. When did you get it? 2019? 2018? When was Eevee and Pikachu?
I mean, I got this console when Eevee Pikachu came out, which is a long time ago, but I didn't play it until, like, Animal Crossing released.
Yeah.
Like, it was very clear to me that I inadvertently purchased this as an Animal Crossing console. and, like, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but, at the end of the day, I still got Joy-Con drift, and it's very, very frustrating, because it's like, these controllers are not cheap.
Yeah, I was talking about it on my friend's stream that like we were playing the Mario game and my controller was messing up the world camera, and I'm just saying, yeah, I have to get these replaced. It's such bullcrap. I honestly feel like Nintendo built these things with the drift because of how often it happens.
Well, it's not that they built it with the drift, it's that
no,
when they cut corners in the production of something, stuff will come up. Because here's the thing, did you know that PS5 controllers can have fucking joystick drift too?
Oh yeah, I'm already hearing people complaining about that.
Yeah, like, I personally play all my PC games right now on a PS5 controller because I love it. Now, this controller feels great. Like, yeah, it's a very nice feeling controller, and I use Steam's built-in overrides to allow games to think it's an Xbox 360 controller rather than a PS5 one. So I can use it to play almost any game as long as I run it through Steam and tell Steam, yes, overwrite all the controls to make it think it's a 360 controller.
Ooh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, that's one super fun thing you can do, and I highly recommend it to anyone who doesn't already know that.
Yeah, but anything else? Because that was it on my list.
I guess the last thing is stay safe, people.
Yeah, please stay safe. Yeah.
Like, you know, I appreciate if you've gotten this far to hear us ramble about media, but, like, media is all we got to pass the time, and it's really hard. It's really hard out there, so I hope you all doing good.
Yeah, and if this somehow gets affected by the algorithm because we talk about the Nintendo Direct, so if we have people listening in, let us know if this length was okay for you guys. I wanted to try to keep this as manageable as possible for the sake of editing, but also just because it needs to be easy for you guys to listen to. But yeah, that's why I didn't talk about the Gamera movies, because I knew that would probably add on another 40-30 minutes, so I didn't talk about those today. I will, though. Next episode, definitely we'll talk about those.
We'll work on it, but yes, yeah. I'm Danny, or I'm Dan, or are you Danny?
I'm Danny. You're the one that chose Dan.
I'm Dan.
Yes, and I am Danny, and we will see you next time. Hopefully by the time we come back, we'll have something, like some weird interesting thing to review about.
Snyder Cut!
Snyder's Cut. Yes, that will... I mean, hopefully there'll be an episode before that, but yes, definitely the Snyder Cut, definitely Kong vs. Godzilla. Oh god, please don't be another King of the Monsters.
Oh wait, I have one last joke for you.
What?
My boss from my old job commented on my Facebook post. I put on Facebook, Smash Bros just can't stop adding sword users, huh? And he wrote in the comments, /bros.
Yeah, Super Slash Bros Ultimate, and it's just like the other 20, like the other 20 plus characters with swords, and then you just see Mario and all the other like weaponless characters like, oh man, that looks fun. Fun fact, the Mario RPG was supposed to have Mario using swords and riding a horse, but then they're like, that's not Mario. What the hell are you doing? You're like, I don't know how to reply to that. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Celebrate 35 years of Stash.
Yeah. and hopefully they start talking about the 30th anniversary of Zelda, because I think we're in the middle of that right now. And there's been, like, no word of that. I think.
I don't know.
I will look.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I will look that up. If I intercut between the audio, then that means that I actually found it. I actually found the proper information. But that's only if I intercut the audio. Anyway, guys, yes, that's it. We already did the sign out once again. So we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. See ya. Don't add Andes.